Hi, today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about our Microgage 2D laser alignment system, and I'd show you the product that comes with the Microgage 2D universal alignment kit, and go through some of the product details of the kit, and then we'll talk about some basic applications such as checking for straightness, flatness, level, squareness, perpendicularity, and parallelism. It's really important to read and understand the manual before you take a look at the product or attempt any of the applications. So the first product we'll look at is the laser transmitter itself. This laser housing is a machined solid block of aluminum, and the sides and the bottom are machined surfaces so that they can be used as reference surfaces if necessary. After the machining, this housing is anodized to protect against wear and provide years of service. There are drilled and tapped holes along the sides and the bottom of the housing so that you can easily attach it to our standard fixtures or to custom fixtures that you might want to build yourself. The back of the laser is where the batteries go, the battery compartment. We've got two thumb screws here that you can just turn, remove this plate, and there's a battery pack inside where the batteries go. It's very easy to change the batteries in and out of the back of the laser housing. The front of the housing is where the beam exits, and it's important to know that 1 inch up and 1 inch over is where the beam comes out of the laser, and that'll be important, and I'll show you in a minute when we talk about the receiver portion of it. On the top of the laser, you'll see that we've had a couple of indicator lights, a green indicator light to let you know the batteries are functioning properly, and a red or an amber light when the battery power is getting low. We've got a bubble level built into the top, which is a 10 arc second bubble level, and this is used in cases where you're checking machinery or equipment for level to gravity or Mother Earth. And then finally we have a toggle switch on the back that's used to turn the laser on and off. So those are the basics of the laser transmitter. Now I'll switch over to the laser receiver unit. The laser receiver unit also is machined out of a solid block of aluminum. It's got machined surfaces as well, and it's also anodized, and it's got drilled and tapped holes along the sides and the bottoms for, again, standard mounting or custom mounting. There's a label on the top of the laser housing, and this always signifies the up position, so you'll also always know which way is up with the receiver. Here's the laser window. You've got both horizontal and vertical reading capabilities on this, and you've got about 3/4 inch in both directions, horizontally and vertically. This is where the window that the laser beam will hit and be detected by the components within this housing. Also, 1 inch up and 1 inch over is the center of this receiver unit. So if I was to place the laser and receiver face to face, the laser beam would be shining to the center of this receiver, and we would get a 0-0 reading on the display unit. The receiver comes with a cable that's approximately 12 feet long, and it's got a connector here that's used to connect to the back of the display unit, which I'll show next. This here is the display unit. It's a portable device, also machined from a solid block of aluminum and anodized to protect against wear. Here's the display unit here, which will give you your horizontal, vertical readings along with a signal strength. And there's also a membrane cover here that protects against spills and grease and dirt and things like that. There's also a lot of keys on here that are best described in the manual. You can see how each of those are used. There's a lot of functionality built into the display unit. You can change the unit of measure from inches to mils to millimeters. You can change the resolution on it if you want to look at thousandths or tenths of thousandths. You can change it in here. There's a lot you can do within this unit. It's best to see those features described in the manual to get more familiar with them. The cover is hinged so it closes and opens easily. In the back is where we have the connection ports for up to 4 receivers on here. And then there's also a USB port which is used with a computer interface module so that you can upload and record data into a laptop or a computer. And this is also an auxiliary port here that can be used, the output information can be used to actually control other parts of your equipment and machinery. But again, there's a capability of up to 4 receivers to be used at once, and those receivers can be viewed on the display unit either one at a time or 4 of them all at once. So those are the basics for the display unit. Next, I'll show you the leveler rotational mount. This device here is used to mount the laser on top of the leveler rotational mount, and you'll use this device here to check flatness or level of machinery, a part, or a piece of equipment. The base of this mount can either be mounted on a flat surface or it can be mounted on top of a tripod. Again, the laser sits up on the top, and then there's a wheel here that's used, and it turns this top device, and you use this to lock the laser down on top of this device. This rotational mount does exactly that. It rotates 360 degrees. You've got a control knob on the front here that will allow you to fine adjust the turning or rotation of the top. And then you've got another locking screw on this side that can be turned to lock this in position once it's set. There are some control screws on the bottom. Depending on the model that you have, it will have either 3 or 4 control knobs on the bottom, and these will be used to adjust the top surface plate, the plane, if you will, that the laser is riding on. And we'll get into that more when we talk about doing the level and flatness measurements. Now, we have a couple of different versions of this rotational mount in the market today. There was the one I just showed you there, and this here is our newest version. You'll see that we've got a couple of thumb screws on the top of the mount that are used to insert into the sides of the laser housing and securely attach the laser to the top surface of the mount. Again, we've got your control knob here for fine adjustment of the position of the mount, and a locking screw here to set that in place. The newer version that we have has 4 thumb screw knobs on the bottom, again for setting the plane of the laser that sits on top of this mount here. And we'll, as I mentioned, we'll show you more about that at a later time.